Biff bang pow! Time to do some last sort of at home recording before I go up back to Bristol. I've got a few things to show you this week. Let's start with some non-Transformer stuff just to get that out of the way. I finally got myself a Spider-Man lizard and a shocker. And they didn't cost me an arm and a leg like they would normally because, slightly unfortunately, they came with this. So yeah, these guys, which were the reason I wanted to buy the set, are technically bonus value things to this completely silly helicopter and this obviously cack because he rides in a vehicle Spider-Man with like no articulation. Right then, onto the sort of plastic you're here to see. As I mentioned in the last Twit update, Dale seemed to be readying to send me another basic figure, which was little RID Optimus. Fire engine! Woo! This mode is actually really nice, and he's a little bit bigger than Ultra Magnus, like this. But once he's in robot mode, he's, well, considerably smaller. He just looks too short. Every part of his body doesn't seem to be long enough. The torso, the legs seem to start somewhere up here. His arms are stumpy, and it doesn't look quite right. But I still like him. This is the only version of an RID Optimus I've got, so he's nice to have. The only real downside to this figure though, which as you can probably tell by the way I'm holding it, is the large amount of kibble on his back that has literally nowhere to go. It just sort of flops there, and maybe it gives you a bit of a rude third mode. It's like the ladder is so huge on his back, and it's like it's meant to just stand there. If you have him stood on a surface, it just helps him stand up, because this has to act as like a third leg of a tripod, and it just goes nowhere. It's so huge. In the same package as that little Optimus, Dale also sent me Robot Heroes Waspinator. Look at that. Is that not just the greatest little thing you've ever seen? And then later that very same day, with a trip to Tesco's and a quick glance up at the top shelf where they keep all the boxes of the figures, and I saw one that was marked W3, and I thought, well, of course that means Wave 3. And it was only Legion figures. Opened it up, what was inside? This guy and a couple of others, like that Flame War and that Black Bumblebee, but I'm not really interested in them. I was just amazed to see brand new figures I didn't think were out, and well, none of them were on the shelf. There were only 3 in the box, which meant it was nearly empty, so I've got no idea where the rest of them had gone. Maybe the staff were pilfering away from themselves, I don't know. But I did the good thing and took that box down, took Wheeljack out for myself, and left Flame War on the shelf to show other eagle-eyed collectors who might not be quite so tall as me as to reach that box that there are some new figures around. Ain't I a diamond like that? So I walked out of that shop with a nice little Legion Wheeljack. You'll be able to tell it's a bit of a crazy paint scheme. In robot mode it's not quite so sort of obvious, but there is no green on him, apart from the nice, interesting green gun he's got here. It's not just throwaway like the rest of them, because it's green, it's different. Yeah. It actually does look really nice. The transformation is very similar to the deluxe version, and you're left with a very nice little car like this. Now, it's again a bit of an odd paint job, all this red, but it looks really good. The headlights on the front and the grille in there painted all this nice gunmetal colour, and the windows are actually really dark, deep metallic blue. It all just looks really nice, although one baffling thing is on the back. Surely with all this red paint everywhere else they could have spared a splodge to give him some proper tail lights. Now I know that some people call Prime Wheeljack Drift Jack, and it's basically a term I hate because it's basically people not accepting the fact that a name doesn't have to go to the same characterisation all the time. The way I see Prime Wheeljack using melee weapons is a hark back to Armada Wheeljack. You know, aligned continuity, they're putting in every different version of every character sort of together. That's the sort of way I look at it. But I have to say, if any figure deserves to be called Drift Jack, it's this one, because look at that. That is Drift's colour scheme on this car. You've got the big red stripes coming in from the front. And you can put his lovely little limeade gun on the top there, and yeah. Miniature excellence. So, UK people, go hunting for some new Legion figures, because there's new bots around. Ooh, excitement. And then, after receiving a very helpful and surprising message from Mr. JohnJohn35 saying that the Fall of Cybertron figures were in my local Smythes, I had to go up there, and the shelves looked like this. And there was a full case there, and I was like, oh, I don't really have a lot of money, but I can't come away without one of these. Oh yeah. Yes! Finally! I've got a good new robot in my hand. It's not a piddly Legion figure, it's something to get my teeth into. Almost, because it has to be said, he is a little bit small and his potential, but it's a really nice figure. So when everyone started dismaying about the whole Toys R Us exclusive news, it isn't really anything to be that worried about, because I can't imagine that my Smythe is going to be the only one that cheekily puts out their case of figures as a bit of a middle finger to Hasbro UK. So I'd say be on the lookout. If there isn't a Toys R Us around you and there's a Smythe near you, then definitely keep an eye on that too, because there's every chance you'll find them pop up there. And I wouldn't be surprised if they end up popping up in other places they probably shouldn't as well. Well, my surroundings may fool you. I did record this earlier in the week, presuming that I'm going to upload this at the end of the week. So actually now, the time you're watching this, not now as in my time, wibbly wobbly timey-wimey, I'll be in Bristol in my new house. If you want to keep tabs on whether I am making videos or not, keep an eye out for, well, I've seen you can now do those messages on YouTube again, put out those posts to your subscribers, which is good. I'd say keep an eye on that, because if I can't put a video up, it's very likely I'll say so on there. Or, if you want to be a bit more of a stalker, you can follow me on Twitter and see when I tweet about what I'm having for my lunch and boring things like that. Catch you on the flip side.